if they're fit for purpose or not. Civil society rep Alpha Ndole believes say CADCO they use this expired product for make rum within they sell to the public.
Yeah, well, we suspect say they use them. We suspect say they use them because if they not be the user, you understand the quantum will become meat initially, and so what we can meet, we suspect say they use them.
Joseph Musa, that the acting PRO for CADCO company.
We get an expired ethanol product. Now we warehouse. We don't report the matter to the Consumer Protection Commission. They don't go there, they don't see and some few drums of expired ethanol.
How much drums?
About 40 something, 47.
47. When they expire?
They expire some 2-3 years ago.
That's 2022 now is 6 years almost.
23?
2022.
23. Now they expire.
But that would label na the box now 2020.
If we say 2020, it be 2022. Some day 2020, some day 2022. But the fact of the matter is we not use them just because they not expire. Nobody know the user. Then they not the stop.
According to the civil society body, then they suspect say when they use them products here for produce alcohol for sale to the public.
No, that's a blatant crime. But we reasonable enough for no say that thing they don't lose in concentration. Once it don't lose and we not going to use it in a factory. So whatever they say, now lie then one lie.
So
that's all.
Why it take una so long for disposal?
Because we're not able to dispose and so we write to Consumer Protection Commission for help for disposal, and that's the policy.
So when do una write to the Consumer Protection Commission?
We don't write several letters, but
whose term una write, because the expiration is almost 5 years now. When una write them?
We write them 2 years ago. But apparently they don't take action.
Waiting clear now this issue now that CADCO get expired ethanol from 2020, but waiting not clear now whether or not they use this ethanol for produce rum for sale to the public. In all of this, person go ask which state institution where government create for check them factory they for make company keep expired product for 5 years. For Radio Democracy, Musa Kamara, the reports.
As all this will be on this same issue, the Chief Executive Officer at the Salon Consumer Protection Commission, Lawrence Bassey, said the commission they investigate CADCO for sake of allegation with this company get for say that they use expired chemical for make from them where they sell to people. Well, Lawrence Bassey talk more about this issue to Chino Jallo inside this interview.
We call this press conference because I think some people there where they try to send some message out to the public where we think they're not correct, even when we don't follow due process it. So we think we need for inform the people exactly waiting at the situation, which we did, and waiting at the next steps. Okay. In relation to some purported expired alcohol with CADCO, alcoholic beverage producer get.
Quickly give me a background of how all this started.
The background is simple. Before Christmas, CADCO called the commission. They said put a stress call that you get over 10 people, then go to their warehouse, they tell them so they get expired alcohol. A thing where they don't know from 2020 that this expired alcohol was there, but it was only reported to us in 2025. So mean they knew 5 years ahead that it was always there. We did not know. So CADCO had written to us as the right way, they ask we say follow-up mechanisms in place for let them dispose of them. Apparently, I don't know waiting beyond they happen at the background. So when I talk to the civil society group, they say they want to lock the place. I say you don't get power for lock anybody in store. You know the law no day. We go say you civil society for lock somebody in place. I say when I write a letter of complaint to the commission that this is what you waiting to find out, and that we go there, we go work with una for go look exactly what una they say, and if not trend waiting for do. So that's what we did. So immediately we call a meeting of then the people that we report and CADCO and the people that we get the warehouse. We meet now on the 17th, is it?
Yes, sir.
17th. We meet now on the 17th. There we form a joint investigative committee. We include Sierra Leone Standards Bureau, Food and Feed Safety. We include the people that we lady complaint and the acting executive director, Mr. Come, is part of that group. Then with NCPC led by Mrs. Fuller. So after that, the investigative committee get the first meeting at officer. When they get the first meeting, they take a set of decisions that then they ask CADCO for provide them with some documents, like country of origin, bill of lading, in relation to the expired alcohol where the whistleblowers then report. So once they don't do that, Mrs. Fuller immediately don't write CADCO for let them produce the document then they. So whilst we wait for them documents, now civil society, this consumer protection agency, when a part of the committee again, write a letter on the 8th, say we move the process slowly. I would say no, this is not process, it will take time. We don't give the man up to the 12th for provide the document the way the investigative committee asked for. So let's give them time. They say no, they want inspection. So me not be don't go at the place. So I decide for call them, let me see first time for myself. But when we went there, then they try for put a story out, we not to the team as if we try for protect CADCO. The commission is not here to protect any wrongdoing. We are here to make sure that our compatriots, our Sierra Leoneans, our citizens stay safe. And therefore, anything where we see we're not to in the speed of with sovereignty and with safety of people, we as a commission get ethical responsibility for make sure say we address them immediately. Okay. So we don't want to preempt the investigation. We want to let the people of Sierra Leone do small time, let the investigation go on, then we go take the appropriate and necessary steps.
In that interest, the public safety, I don't think say the request from the CSOs will be the right one, because if they allege say they expire product and when I still not close the place, the people and still using product and they sell it to the market to consumers, then I don't think say in terms of public safety.
This thing has been there for 5 years. It's not like now today they know. They knew. Something went wrong somewhere. It's only now they bring them to we own attention. 5 years down the road. And quite apart from that, the people in warehouse and get other things that we didn't study. So what we were doing, now for let's do the investigation very quickly. If we have to destroy that alcohol, procedure there for one, which we will
But for
do.
the meantime, they be the sell them still?
No, not to sell, not to the
They use them to produce the
not to the expired one, the purported expired one and they use. According to within and tell we. Then get new stock we come, when I need they use for the alcoholic beverage. But that said, the civil society not get power for Google lock somebody in place.
But they make a request to her.
They make a request, but we know each stage it for we do the investigation. We are on investigation.
I mean, things say it's necessary for move the alleged, external level and say don't.
All of that, you cannot give an investigation committee a task, then you come back and go over them, waiting them decide. They may.
Well, inside the interview day, you will listen to the Chief Executive Officer, na Salon Consumer Protection Commission, Lawrence Bassi, we be talk to Chino Jallo. Also, he said that they investigate CADCO for sake of allegation. We say this company they use expired chemical for make home them. We're not right. The program, Good Morning Salon, they continue.
And inside the program, as we don't mention inside one power airline stories them today, they look at the progress in the fight against corruption, achievements, impact on the fight against corruption to transparency and accountability na the country. For Sika Data, I want to welcome na the program Francis Ben Kaifala, the Commissioner, Anti-Corruption Commission. Good morning and welcome to the program Good Morning Salon.
Very good morning to you all.
I don't know if we still there waiting for wish Happy New Year. What's in the deadline?
Yeah, we still there. I think say the whole January is a Happy New Year.
Okay. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Okay.
Same to you.
And welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Today we'll look at the fight against corruption. And 2026, the president named as the year of action delivery. From the corruption perspective, what's in our resolution?
Well, at the heart of the year of action, the fight against corruption. I shall say everybody go accept say if there has to be action, there has to be control, there has to be systems, and above all there has to be discipline. So the fight against corruption are the anchor upon which the year of action therefore stand. And my role as Anti-Corruption Commissioner, working with the very strong team at the ACC, now for ensure say governance succeed in Sierra Leone, and the year of action actually becomes action.
Give me a flashback to the fight against corruption in 2025. How you been that like?
Well, the fight against corruption in 2025 build up on the fight against corruption in the years before, for continue for be fierce, for continue for be active, for continue for be proactive, and for continue for produce results for Sierra Leone. So we do a lot more public education and engagement in 2025. We do a lot more investigations in 2025. We do a lot more prevention work for build the infrastructure in Sierra Leone in 2025. We deliver more on the anti-corruption strategy for Sierra Leone in 2025, and above more, we prosecute more in 2025.
You just state on a 3 core mandate of the Anti-Corruption Commission. In line with doing the mandate here, how fair and sincere it is, in line with you giving flashback on how the work, last year?
Well, I think it's very fair. We work on discipline, extreme discipline. For example, in the area of investigation, we make sure we follow the evidence. We peel off every other consideration. We peel off emotion. We peel off people idiosyncrasies within the feel about other people and within the think they happen. And we focus more on the evidence, and most times we follow the money, particularly where money is involved. So we do it very fairly, and so we also do it very openly. We lead one of the most open.
From the original trial, and by the time of next.
Go ahead, please.
We lead one of the most open and fair fight against corruption ever seen in Africa.
So, in line with una mandate, one key thing we want to hardly talk about now the organ for with prevention. We can see more emphasis on investigation and prosecution. For last year, 2025, how many corruption cases ACC go able to say then take steps or strategy them were they able to prevent?
So, prevention are the strongest area of fight against corruption and the bedrock of fight against corruption. And I disagree that we delay more emphasis on other areas. I think the real thing where they happen is people are more interested in other areas like investigation and prosecution.
Because if you go say una wale happen, una catch people that una able get a good record for say, well, una don't.
No, the view is that is what the public really looks forward to. Even una the media, that's what you are interested in. If we arrest one person, just not like how days there, when I see headlines, passport, NIA, everybody is running and calling and things like that. But when we have done systems reviews in more than 94 institutions in Sierra Leone and we talk about it, nobody's interested in that. But we understand this. We believe, say, if Sierra Leone they do well in the fight against corruption, if Sierra Leone are one of the examples of the fight against corruption in Africa, particularly in the last 7 to 8 years, now because of the strong prevention work they do. Enforcement, we're not in the public interested in, and journalists are interested in because now get a sensation. Now really a small part of the work, and not the most significant part of the work. The most significant part of the work is what we call systems and processes review, is what we call policy making, is what we call generally prevention work. We don't succeed a lot for reduced corruption prevalence in the public service in Sierra Leone.
Okay, looking back to 2025 in the fight against corruption, how many cases then you will talk about, say, the ACC deal with in this year in terms of prevention, enforcement, and other sectors the way the ACC mandate call for?
So ACC they receive a lot of reports. So in the year preceding was one of the highest surges in reports we received in the fight against corruption. There are about 250 to 255 cases reported of serious corruption. And in that case, we can peel off some of them we can deal with administratively, some of them we can refer for administrative action to institutions, some of them we can summarily deal with them by basically contacting the institution and taking immediate steps rather than wait for investigations and things like that, and make administrative recommendations. The one that we'll investigate is about 166. And in those investigations, the outcomes were very clear. Some of them were charged to court. Some of them will do recovery. Some of them will refer for administrative action. And in all of them, we always embed prevention measures for make sure, say, we backstop whatsoever we are trying to solve and make sure, say, people don't go back to the corruption or they try to prevent.
Continue for deal with we name na Francis Ben Kelfala in the Commissioner Anti-Corruption Commission. We don't start for the update on how ACC be able to do the fight against corruption inside last year 2025. Will they come back to us now? Now time for logo for a break.
Union Trust Bank there for you.
This December, get ready for smooth, fast and reliable money transfer service like never before. Union Trust Bank, we proud for tell una say, now we first begin for the Western Union money transfer service na salon. And now, we serve they do MoneyGram, RIA and BNB, all under one trusted roof. This now the Union Trust Bank December Christmas promotion. Yes, December Christmas promotion. From the 1st to the 31st December 2025, for any money where you receive, now we House Street and Sanders Street branch, you stand chance for win plenty fine prizes them and gifts them this holiday season. Gifts them where you can use for family, you party, or loved one. And Seth, when you transfer with Union Trust Bank, you will get excellent rates. Yes, we will give you fine rates. So what do you wait for? This holiday season, choose convenience, choose speed, choose the pioneers. Choose Union Trust Bank money transfer service. UTB, the better bank, where they all sign us alone.
Your money is safe and you don't need for worry.
See how we last camp on this farming business. Now in no more they make profits. It's all like na debully gets where they work for.
But blopa you comping. But that's not fine pan business.
But that's for waiting. I don't know why we don't tape on this business. No, they get better. And we just come they shine like a holy.
Let's go. If they do well thing, but you not feel say.
Me sister them. Not so debully I get so that the way I dey manage me profit after I don't sell me farm market. Now make una they see me at the shine by this farm business so.
Boss here, you get this fine secret, you not tell we you sister them.
Now I dey try for tell una so. Where I don't sell me farm thing them. I know they spend like how una they spend. Look you musu. Now new ladies bag you come out buy so. You dey trust for buy any new clothes we come out. All time una they spend pass how una they make them. Me now, I dey save. I dey cut me cut according to my size. For help me pan this, now make local commercial bank with in partner them. They don't start this financial and digital literacy campaign for farming community them, where they help you for manage your budget, learn you how for trust, and plenty other awareness there. We go make your business grow more and more. Save today for you tomorrow and buy.
This message they come out from Local Commercial Bank and UNCDF in partnership with Government of Sierra Leone with funding from European Union.
From that break, the program Good Morning Salon they continue. They bring in a studio guest Commissioner Anti-Corruption, Commissioner Francis Benkel Fala. Before the break, he will talk about cases unable to deal with inside last year. He talk about how Nakin handle some of them cases in there. According to you, some Nakin deal with her internally or administratively. Who's case them or waiting can be on a weighing procedure for say let we bring this out to the public or let this be dealt with internally in terms of the fight against corruption.
So at the ACC, we get a complaint review committee where they receive all complaints. Okay, these are a committee drawn from people in the commission from various departments and agencies. We know they're part of that committee. Then when the cases come, reports come, we get all manner of reports. Human rights issues, sometimes it's administrative issues, some of them are administrative justice, sometimes it's even just civil. A lot of reports about judicial actions, things where we not really get direct right for deal with. Other institutions get that responsibility there. But then that committee they peel off that and divide the cases into the different areas and make recommendations. This the Musila will send to the minister who is responsible for land, for deal with this land issue, or they will send out to the Lands Commission. And Musila will give this to the Chief Justice for deal with, or they will send out to the Environmental Protection Agency, or the Human Rights Commission, or the Ombudsman's Office, or to the military leaders, or the police leaders for deal with this. Now the one that we get for do with investigation and prevention mostly, then they now refer. All the recommendations that they make, me they review them and approve whether that is correct. So for example, then go look at the case and say, no, this case here, let we not investigate them. Make you look at the circumstances and facts and say, no, let's go ahead and investigate them. So, but then someday they will say a lot of the times when they make the recommendations, then they just approve it and say, and then it goes on. But then once we don't say for investigate, we now refer them to the department responsible for investigation for looking into that issue there and come out with a report.
Just last year, when I deal with 166 corruption cases, then what are the biggest corruption we the ACC they deal with?
Within this year?
No, generally, as a country.
When you say within the biggest corruption?
No, I mean, which are the biggest corruption they take place? What are the highest sectors the one that they receive complaint in terms of corruption?
Of course, we know say the revenue sector is a very important sector for Sierra Leone. And it is a constant target for people that we want to engage in corruption. And that includes the people that will work in the revenue sector. Then they usually work with people that will work in banks and other institutions to facilitate the corruption. So one of the biggest areas we would look at when it comes to corruption now, of course, the revenue sector.
And that's the National Revenue Authority, now the body where government charge for collect revenue for the country. Is this sector limited to them?
No. So it's not just the NRA. We are looking at multiple sectors that within the revenue generation issue. But the NRA are the most significant member of that sector there, and then they do the bulk of the work. But again, a lot of other institutions are responsible for collecting revenue, licenses, minerals, agencies, a lot of places that they were responsible. Even the judiciary and other places are part of the sector.
We see inside ACC the updates what they can do for last year, about 2 or 3 times when I come out with a notice on cases more when they investigate. We get for do with the National Revenue Authority. One get for do with unexplained wealth indictment against Abubakar Kamara, former manager National Revenue Authority. We see other one we get for do recently with a male and female. We get to do diversion of funds and other things. In this, all of this, is it that National Revenue Authority now the key directly, or there are other sector involved?
So now I don't say. I mean, for example, then 2 cases that way you call, and the people that way you mention are workers in the National Revenue Authority. We just get conviction against in one of them, and even the one way they mention now, Abu Kamara. They sell 3 houses now. We belong to Abu Kamara. Coming out of that file in the US, but he contacted through lawyers and say he want for settle, and part of that settlement deal is to sell 3 of his houses to the public and return the money to the state. So, basically, what that tells you is that yes, indeed, they could do a lot of work with interface with NRA, but like I have said, they are not the only ones acting in the revenue sector. So, for example, in the revenue sector, if you go now at Taki, for example, there are multiple actors there collecting revenue. Okay, they get people there with the value containers, where they do things. All of them are collecting revenue somehow. There are people issuing licenses across the country in various ministries, departments, and agencies. They are all part of the revenue sector. But the NRA are the principal actor in that regard, and of course, because they are the principal actor, and I don't say, even though the leadership of NRA, they do very well in trying for lead the institution, for change, for make sure say people they not engage in corruption, but they know that that area has big money, and there are a lot of miscreants who believe say therefore target them. So now the more we deal with that.
So ACC in the form of prevention, in terms of a strategy and approach, in any way, on another thing, say the area of, reducing corruption, NRA and other sector, them not possible.
I don't think it's impossible, not to me.
No, work in partnership with NRA. For CC, if this continues, these are the measures they will
the word impossible not exist in your dictionary.
Okay.
I believe that these are human actions, and every human action, can be dealt with, can be controlled. So you may not eliminate it entirely, but you're able to control them. So it just requires good leadership. It requires accountable leadership. It requires a lot of discipline in the system. And they continuously use the word discipline because now it's most important to Sierra Leone right now. And some of them they happen because of the level of indiscipline whether it exists for years and years and years and years. And some people that even though President Bio don't come, introduce a lot of discipline. Some people that still feel say we still live in those years. And I make meaty for make sure say that particular attack on discipline in the country not go free. And that's why just now I just tell you, say, they sell 3 houses belonging to a man. When have you had that in the fight against corruption? It tells you the kind of discipline way President Bio don't carry, we don't introduce.
So most times we can see the ACC they display couple them, we then say then get from the proceeds of corruption.
Correct.
Now how much money the ACC been able recover last year, and how much property them wanna be able to cover from corruption?
So last year, from the top of my head, I know say we be able to recover something like 14 billion from the corrupt, and that 14 billion loans will be returned to the state at some point. We'd already the return every year. You see with the return, and we get some money. We'll get for still return to the state.
So how much property?
What?
I mean, in terms of property, then you talk about OSGs now.
Yeah, I just talk about one of the cases where they deal with. So we return 3 properties. We sell actually 3 properties. We already get property that we're about for sale. So, for example, there's a property we have been trying to sell in the matter involving EDSA. One of the people then we thief a lot of money from EDSA. We still not able to sell that property there, but we try for sell out. And there are other properties really just we go after, because one of the things where we do in the era of President Bio within the framework of the new direction is to really make sure that we don't just focus on the human beings. Sierra Leone be done this so bad that people then be just the thief. When they thief, they hold them. After 1 week, they find them guilty. They find them 30 million euros. The next day, they release them. Or even if they find them guilty, they appeal and they free them. We they go after the property. We they go after the money. We they make sure say they enjoy that money they ever happily after. So whatsoever now happen in addition is fine. And I make so I can enjoy people the way you say, oh, ACC they display money, but we know they see that money we know they see Ikibise. I see one very funny TikTok video recently where somebody say ACC feels say we a full man, then they just go meet them or give you this money, or go put on a table, and after we put on a table, we'll give the person back. I mean, that's very silly. So how you expect the Anti-Corruption Commissioner for do that kind of thing? Okay. So when we say people then thief over 75 billion euros and we don't collect it and give them back to the state, now a fact, now a factor, we go after the money and we get the money. So the only reason why that they shock the minds of many Sierra Leoneans then because some people then from where they born at this world, they don't ever believe say that they go happen at Salone. They don't ever believe say somebody go thief that kind of money then they and a human being they on earth we go come and not negotiate for shape that money they for himself, and not negotiate for give that money they to himself, and not negotiate for make share that money they with people them. If they actually take them and put on a table, say yeah una money and give una back, and we are talking about over 75 billion euros over the past period. Some people they not believe say that they forever happen in Sierra Leone. Well, I have a story for you. Sierra Leone is about to change, and some of we God born we and put in at this country now for make sure say we not rest until the story of this country change and we're ready for it for do even more.
In line with recovering corruption funds and returning it to the state, they talk about the way they return to institution, like for example, the mayor office will see return 3 billion, it different from the way they return to the president, or it's all the same?
Yeah, so certain money then they will recover. We can judge say it belonged to a particular institution. Okay. So for example, there was a time when we do recovery for SLRA. Okay, these are institutions that we self-governing somehow, and when we put money directly into the consolidated revenue fund, sometimes they find it difficult for access and back. So when we recover them money, then they will give them. Okay, like we did with SLRA, for example, the Freetown City Council 3 billion loans. We don't recover over 2 billion euros to them. We don't return over 3 billion euros to them. I think say within the next few weeks we get for recover another 1 billion euros to them for floor plan to more than 3 billion euros. And we don't do that for example, NGOs. Some staff that they thief their money and then they come to we crying that the money we brought in Sierra Leone to do humanitarian work. Some people that don't thief them and we go in, we recover the money and we give it back to them so that they continue doing the work that they do. You can see the women's clinic now, Aberdeen, for example, is one brilliant example where we recovered for them and we give them the money. We also do them for CRS, Christian Relief Services, I believe is their name. We also recover a lot of money with them staff them take from them and we give them back. So really, and these people are so happy with this. Okay. Because it was not happening before. And these things are happening on a large scale in Sierra Leone. Some of them people they don't hear about that much, but a lot of it is happening. So the country is really on the path of showing that we're serious about the fight against corruption.
How much convictions then would they talk about now where the ACCB win? last year.
So last year you notice last year was a very good year for the fight against corruption.
Almost conviction. And
I think we had about 12 or 13 convictions. Just in December alone, we had about 5 judgments coming from the Court of Appeal, from the High Court in terms of conviction.
Okay.
I mean, that includes, for example, Serafina Bendo. That includes the gentleman they engaged in a lot of corruption. That includes a case involving NRA staff, where we thief money that staff did run away, and we charged him and other people, and we got judgment. Okay. So convictions is really one of those things that we have. Okay. Emphasize. And some people like you say, oh no, ACC they just go after the money, but they know they charge people to court. No sir, we are charging a lot of people to court, but court cases take time to resolve, and sometimes they're not really follow again to the end for know how we conclude. Like I say, just in December we get 5 different cases where there was judgment delivered, and all of them people were convicted. We get 100% conviction rate in 2025.
Okay, continue for the to inside the program Commission, Anti-Corruption Commission. As now we go for a break.
We're trendy and youthful. We're UBA.
Lucky are small. Now imagine say the day where you born your pikin, you open UBA Kiddies bank account for him, and you begin save just 1,000 euros, no more, or any amount every month done with no pressure, no wahala, just 1,000 no more. Now let me fast forward and say you pikin don reach 13 years and you don ready for take NPSC exam. Don't you remember say you be done the save na UBA for you pikin in future one bambai. Then you go check in UBA Kiddies account. Then boom, over 120,000 euros done the day. With no big, no stress, just peace of mind. You don't empower your pikin, you don't secure in future, and you don't also make a dream come true. All this go happen when you choose UBA for open account for your pikin. With just 250 millions, you go able open UBA Kiddies account today. All what you need for open the Kiddies account na just the pikin in birth certificate, 1 passport picture, valid ID card, and you, the mama or papa in passport picture or driver's license, and back utility bill from the last 3 months. Maintain minimum balance of 250 millions and enjoy free withdrawal, monthly interest, mobile and online banking with no deposit limit, plus free SMS alert. So what do you wait for? Hurry now and run come open UBA Kiddies account for you pikin and make yourself use them for the save small one. Now UBA Kiddies account get. Because small gather today mean bebe gladness tomorrow. UBA, Africa's global bank, one brand partnering for progress.
AI networks, the one they were there before per internet service at the country, don't 10 years.
That means say for 10 years now, they don't connect me to the internet. For 10 years now, they don't make sure say we computer they will connect to the internet and fund them, they work fine one.
With AI networks, the internet service, you can live stream, keep online meeting free flow.
With AI network, they make sure say you always get quality. You for always connect to the internet. Easy one.
10 year not your picking play. For 10 year AI networks, they get the best. AI networks, the internet fast and stable. For customer care on, no for talk. Nobody no beats them.
AI networks, you can always trust them. Enjoy better internet service, online meeting, live streaming, video games. Yes, now AI networks. Now 140 Circular Road, now the place where you forgot meet them. Now, you can call themselves now 088-240-001 or 076-240-001. Join the AI Networks family now and enjoy smooth connectivity.
The program Good Morning Salon, they continue to come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. In case you just join we, today we talk to the Commissioner and the Anti-Corruption Commission, when Francis Benkaifala, they talk about success challenge in the fight against corruption and the way forward. We continue to look at more issues. We take one power headline stories and we go say the Executive Director of the National Public Health Agency, Professor Fodesa, say they don't record 96 confirmed case of continuous ulcer where they put saw picking them between the age of 5 to 15 years. They make this confirmation inside one interview to the Democracy where they talk about the we talk about this ulcer, we then see the record na Bombali district. It talk more to clarify to content in this interview.
Yes, on the 17th of November, we get like an alert from the Bombali district health team where they inform we say then actually notice some picking them between 5 to 15 years, then get some ulcer then they foot them. So we immediately send a team for go work with them and we'll find out for say this particular thing it is now 27 communities within the Safroko Limba chiefdom na Bombali district.
Okay. So how many confirmed or suspected cases the Monado record to date?
Well, to date now 266 suspected cases and confirmed cases now 96. Once it confirmed, then take the sample, they don't identify the bacteria, now the confirmed cases, so now 96 of them case them.
Okay. So this sick is still in a Bombali district, so you don't go to neighboring village or chiefdom there?
Well, from with surveillance people them who don't deploy, they actually monitor everything in real time. They don't find out for say some communities within Tonkolili where they share about Bombali, it don't begin with it. But fortunately for us, we don't find out for say majority of the patients they're well. Of them 266 we are talking about 80 something of them they don't well. They monitor Tongolili district itself, the case they don't begin spread there.
Okay, so now let's look at what are some of the things where they cause this continuous ulcer.
Well, according to the laboratory tests they will send confirmation to colleagues in Senegal. Now a bacteria they identify. It starts as a painless ulcer and they foot them, then later it begin pain them. So basically a bacterial infection.
Okay. How this sick they transfer?
That we don't know it's possible because they begin they play football. It's possible within the environment they get them. So with the partners them, WHO, we don't talk with them, they don't send a technical experts where in your area and One Health where they look at the environment, look at the animal and whatever and human beings. So it possible was that from the environment that they get them. So but now investigations were ongoing. We'll talk about investigating a disease, we look at how it is spread, who side they come out from. So all land we don't take water samples, we don't take soil samples, we don't take samples from the animal stem. So all land they would investigate and find out for say who side they pick and get all side.
From November 17 last year, I don't detect this sick. So let's look at the measures then we una don't put in place for say una able for tackle or go na other region them and save return.
So basically every contact of them patient they will make sure so identify the contact. Of them case them we don't identify the one that when they close contact to them we then case them, we don't identify over 211 of them, so that all day under we watch. And we also distribute drugs and antibiotic, azithromycin, would they give them and then they actually respond to them. So for me, make sure say spread and for monitor in spread. Now we could work with the district health management teams now Bombali and we don't activate the one back now Tonkolili for make sure say we work with them and actually monitor all the contact of the patient them so I know will spread further.
Okay, so who side confirm cases of them people don't confirm say get sick day now?
Then did us because nobody no hospitalize anybody. As I say, nobody no die, nobody.
Why?
Because now also them foot them and they respond to treatment.
So this not a sick where they transfer from Motaman to Motaman?
We don't notice them say they transfer from Motaman to Motaman because as it's an ongoing investigation so far. We don't find out for say they transfer from person to person. They likely say now when they begin to play at the environment or whatever, but it's an ongoing investigation.
Okay, so isn't that the surveillance system where una they use for track new cases?
If somebody don't positive, we don't also the person, the people when they are around that person, they would monitor them, and we don't find out for say the one that when they around them people them where would they identify for say they get the ulcer, them will not actually say the contact and they get them. So it's possible to say adjust from the environment that they get them.
So it's not the message we go send out to people out there because this na sick way don't draw so many Sierra Leoneans their attention, say now other outbreak don't come.
We just want to reassure the Sierra Leoneans, say the National Public Health Agency and the Ministry of Health, they do everything possible for safeguard the health of Sierra Leoneans. They emergency watch room will establish the various regions them. Then they work very closely with the district health management teams for make sure say we respond speedily to any outbreak. For this particular one, we don't identify then case them, we don't deploy surveillance officer them, we don't deploy people them for actually educate the people in that community they on waiting for do and waiting not for do. So we just want that it's serious and they know say we there for make sure say we safeguard their health.
The program Good Morning Salon they continue with the listening to the Executive Director of the National Public Health Agency, Professor Fodesa. They talk to Karifatu Conte and said an interview they said they confirm say Salon don't record 96 confirmed case of continuous ulcer where they pull up and picking them between age 5 to 15 years of age. The program Good Morning Salon they continue. They come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We still get the Commissioner for the Anti-Corruption Commission, Francis Kaifala, where they talk about success challenge in the fight against corruption, but we don't keep you more in 2025 because 2026 just starts. But I take you to one newspaper headline where from Salon Compass edition yesterday say over 1.1 trillion gone fuel NRA turns corruption epicenter. Nearly every year, every day you come now media, you get for deal with something we get for do with NRA and corruption. From 2018 to date, how much cases them the Anti-Corruption Commission don't deal with now the NRA and how much money we don't recover from the NRA?
I mean, like I say, I don't know that headline. First of all, I don't think say justified. I don't think so that headline they justified because I don't know the basis of the calculation where the person do for book trillion. But I know say we don't do a lot of interface with NRA staff, but most times it's even not just NRA staff, it's other people targeting money meant for NRA. But when we can go to public and go talk, then just in NRA. But most times it's bankers, it's agents, people representing institutions who are supposed to pay tax. Their principals give them the money to go pay to NRA and they divert it. Okay? But when we are having that conversation, we'll always mention NRA, and sometimes it appears as if it is NRA who are basically doing it. But there have been a number of cases where we don't deal with NRA over the years in that sense what I just explained. So it does not necessarily mean if I say we don't deal with NRA issues, it means in NRA team.
So roughly how much cases that we talk about?
We're talking about within the time when we done the roughly is about 7 cases. 7
cases na the NRA. What about the recoveries?
We don't do a lot of recoveries involving money meant for NRA. I mean,
you can put in
a lot. Just one case we will do involving one bank was about 35 billion loans at that time, which is now about 35 million loans in the new loans. Just one case.
So this newspaper might not be far from the truth.
The totaling?
Yes.
The totaling of the amount?
Yes.
I make I say I don't know the basis of the calculation.
Okay.
So I can't say it is a lie, I can't say it's the truth, but I just may not go able to validate that because I don't know how it come about for some up to trillion.
So in line with the recovery and other thing the way you don't they give updates, but the other view they say NRA selective, Anti-Corruption Commission selective in the fight against corruption, then they get political influence and pressures, things and they will decide for keep internal or bring to the public. As the Anti-Corruption Commission, you're a commissioner for all Sierra Leonean despite political alignment. What you go say in line with that?
I mean, the first thing I go say is that is not true. We work on the basis of fairness. We work on the basis of discipline. We work on the basis of ensuring that we ourselves are accountable to the people of Sierra Leone. And that make, for example, me as commissioner there today, for speak to the people. Because it don't take, it's over a year since I last do an actual radio interview for the public.
We need to go for a break. We'll come back to you, Commissioner. We'll continue the program Good Morning Salon. Now time for music break.
How long, Salon? Because sit on the look, it didn't go wrong. Since 1961, we still don't know where we belong. And we not go push if we not root the criminals them among and bring them down to justice. This is not the voice of the young.
The thieves are no money. If you die no boss, one day jam Gary. If you hear no boss, one day you go see am.
Popolio close alone they cry. They make her fed up with life. Dirty make malaria. They make months na the area. Bag resting just the dia. Oh, then come bra wahala. Look where them youth man Mori. You ain't nobody not sorry. We don't tire for your story. Not to not make with the wondering. With the member tomorrow angry. How long for live Bangari? But always alone money. The problem na then I am beef. They not die, we not go happy. Then teacher, they know they get pay. But who side then the thief? So now na teacher be make them day. Then thief 1.8 billion. Then send the picking abroad. Okay, now that's make them Nokia. Development na usia. Oh, they not go talk true. Them mod them fool with no fear. Nothing pass a lucky boom boom na lights na pass the world done. Pass the world done. Pass the world done.
You ain't the thieves and no money. If you hear no boss, one day you go see am. You ain't the make with the jam Gary. If you hear no boss, one day you go see am. You ain't the make
we Emma's entitled One Day You Go See Am Yui, the It's Salomoni. The program Good Morning Salon, they continue, they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. We still get the Commissioner and the Anti-Corruption Commission, Francis Benkaifala. Francis, we look at specific cases then where the ACC they deal with. Recently we see meant to understand una be make some arrest them na Salon Immigration Department. What are the latest with that case with regards service and diplomatic passports?
Yes, so firstly, before I go and tell you something, the music they own at the play, okay? This country is traumatized, people have gone through a lot. So me advise now that when I begin play music there where they uplift the spirit of the people, where they inject hope in the system, where they de-psychologize them for believe in Sierra Leone and one for push and forward. But every time I listen to that, when they go dig their old music there,
so you describe what people in this gone to
we're traumatizing.
So it's not a song.
So for example, when you play music that says that Lungi Bridge till the wall done, you are teaching the children to believe that impossible. It's actually
but the Lungi Bridge at least the Lungi Bridge don't build?
No, it's not build yet, but there are hopes and plans to do it. So let's focus on that. Other than entrenching that belief, say it can never be done. But on the outside, let me go down to your question.
What's more traumatizing than somebody wake up after we don't pay tax and say the money we pay, one person don't take her?
But also, what's more uplifting about that is that something is being done about it. And the ACC, they actually recover the money they put on a table and show to the public there are avengers for the people of Sierra Leone in the form of the ACC doing great work for instill hope and confidence in the system.
Their music can still speak to the reality on the ground.
Their music there, they entrench cynicism.
So why do
they are making the country and the people to feel like change is impossible. And me, now a firm believer in Sierra Leone, don't get me wrong, I am not saying that things are not still going in a way that we all want for change. But you see, changing a country like this, we rely on institutions like the radio democracy, mass education. We inject hope in people. In the morning, people then inside the motorcar, they go home and they hear one melancholic music where they make them feel sad.
Commissioner.
And then they go walk. So basically, I'm not criticizing you. I am encouraging you to do more, but play music where they uplift the people of Sierra Leone. Play money necessary.
So
and then people will enjoy.
So
they will dance.
Is it about music where people hear about the one they're in a position for do the right thing?
People in position people are doing the right thing.
Just like how many
I'm sitting down here. Mina, are they in a position? Okay, I have been in this position for 8 years, delivering consistently every year, and I am here for us to talk about it. If you have a contrary information, you can challenge it. But I'm giving you facts, details on how much the ACC they put in effort for change the story of this country. So let's all not be gloomy about this. Let's all not be cynical about it. Let's all not resign on Sierra Leone.
So then
I am telling you, the story of Sierra Leone will never be the same again. And there are young people who have come up,
like you,
in all the political parties. We're ready for continue for do things that can change this country. And the one that they stand in the way of that, we are ready to eliminate them.
So
we are ready to do things. If anybody stands in the way of the destiny of Sierra Leone, some of we ready to do everything for take them out.
Mr. Commissioner, somebody say you guilty, and I make you the comment on the music now Facebook page.
Are guilty of what?
The music.
What you are guilty of?
Sometimes.
The only thing I'm guilty of is delivering consistently for the people of Sierra Leone.
Again, Commissioner, we music.
So if that is guilt, then I agree.
Commissioner,
but I know that I have done nothing we will make I feel bad. I am just saying, look, me and a student, I study psychology. So, okay? I know that music, mass dissemination of information through music is significant to changing the mindset of people.
But with music not get anything for discourage anybody. Most times with music they in line with topic they deal with. So
yeah, but now they go find the one the way. Anyway, it's just an aside. I mean, trust me, it's not to criticize you. I just want all of us to work in the interest of this country and change the story for good.
Maybe that's our own way.
Well, keep pushing us if that is your own way.
Okay. Now we look at the issue of the passports now, Salone immigration. Recently, we been go take some document them na the immigrations department, especially na the passport production unit. Say when the suspects say then they produce diplomatic and service passports for people who not deserve them. What are the latest on that?
Well, yes. I mean, we all know. Say one of the things where this country does struggle with for a long time. We are talking about years and generations. Is how our passports are managed, and sometimes we are all embarrassed when news they come out say we passport them, particularly service and diplomatic passport. They fall in the hands of undeserving people. But even with ordinary passport, they fall into the hands of people that whether they arrest in other countries then. And sometimes deportation don't embarrass we where, for example, Americans they don't deport people then to Sierra Leone, who clearly were not Sierra Leoneans. They come from places like Dominican Republic and all this, but the Americans say no, they had your passport, so we have to send them to your country. And of course, even recently when the US government do this visa ban on Sierra Leone, one of their justification was they do not trust the documentation process in Sierra Leone. So one of the things they do with President Bio family believing is ensuring that this changes. And the foundation of that is to sanitize how people get access to passport. And so when we receive information, we can usually act on it. So the status of that is we are reviewing it, we are probing it. We don't collect a lot of documents and information from the immigration department. We don't speak to personnel in that department, and we are now looking to see waiting at the problem so that we all will come out with solutions we will make the country better and fairer. And of course, we will restore the respect documents get. So if you go to a country, you show a diplomatic passport from Sierra Leone, people will really respect.
So in this case, will not get any arrest?
So far, no arrest yet. We just invite people.
Would I invite?
I mean, we invite a lot of people from the immigration department. I mean, everybody we get for doing passport. People there from NetPage, people there they print the passport. The chief immigration officer don't make statement. Other personnel at the immigration department.
Okay. So how through that when have been detained the chief immigration officer?
No, we not detain the chief immigration officer, but we interview.
So in line with the same measures on the immigration department, now that same approach they wanna apply on the recent NRA corruption allegation case?
No, the NRA, no, we not use the same approach. NRA, for example, there were detentions.
Detention of
because the NRA issue, we being a little bit more aggressive with them because we all know how the NRA is to Sierra Leone. We want to make sure so they continue to get revenue a lot. Look, some of the things that happen at the country because the basket is never full, because people they poke holes into the basket. But we want to make sure the basket is full so that distribution is easy for everybody, to the ordinary man.
So SEC, in terms of whistleblower, una get on your own measure and people on be they use previously. You still on that same approach they on getting
so we just don't
intel from the institution them?
We don't actually just roll out the most comprehensive whistleblower protection regulation in Africa. I don't know whether you are aware of this or did you interact with it. We just roll out. Parliament actually just passed them, where they give extensive guarantees and protection for people the way they bring information in the fight against corruption, and for ensure say retaliation not take place against them, and for make sure say the government take responsibility for them when they do. All that are part of President Bio in commitment to the people of Sierra Leone for make sure say accountability is stronger. So yes, we don't do them. We don't put the regulation. The next phase now is to practicalize it. So, for example, if you bring information to we and that information is so sacred to the fight against corruption that we believe that we will take you out of Sierra Leone and relocate it somewhere the government can actually fund that process. We can change your identity. We can move you and your family. We can protect you and your family. We can even give financial compensation and reward for giving information in the fight against corruption.
Get the money?
If we get the money?
Yes.
Now the government they give the money.
So for national,
like personal money, but the government, but as long as Parliament don't pass it now into a regulation, it means the government has to honor it. So, for example, if we demand say this information when you come to you're entitled to $100,000 compensation. All we need to do now for process and send them to Ministry of Finance. And Ministry of Finance will pay.
So for National Revenue Authority, you go make and clear for the sake of the audience. What exactly? We know say there's a corruption case, but in which form way ACC they investigate?
It's like not really interested in National Revenue Authority.
Because according to Ijozo Atese, in years going by, them with other revenue
example, the one who
involved more in
right
corruption.
now, we investigate deletions in the Asikuda system, who believes they linked to money. So now we believe. It not necessarily means saying that a fact it has been established. We just don't do about 30% of that investigation. And part of that investigation, because what you will do is there be the delete over the years. Things are in the Asikuda system. Now, once revenue fell to a particular level, the management of NRA themselves blew the alarm on this, working with banks for say people then they delete things them into the system. We believe that the deletions they are. Now for make sure say people are not able to know waiting clearly they happen in the Asikuda system so that they go able to get the money where they go pay in a bank for themselves. So then deletions then the management bring to we. Now in with the investigate right now, and the people that will arrest are the people that we believe say responsible for them deletions that they in the Asikuda system.
Okay. Now you say una make arrest na NRA and make una detain. But when you look at the Salon Immigration Department, una just interview and left people. We see recently Ghana being faced the same situation, then ensure say them withdraw then diplomatic and service passport from the hands of foreigners, them will not forget them, and the one they will not qualify for get them. And also the issue of the engaged diplomatic passports allegedly from a drugs dealer when a Salon diplomatic passport na Turkey. All this they smear the image of Salon. Women say the scandal or diplomatic passport being issued to people who not deserve them a very serious crime. Who's the yardstick the ACC use for say them people are where we suspect say they involved in this? No, just interview and let them go now.
So let me take back the NRA matter. The NRA matter started 5 months ago. Okay? Now we hold people there and detain them because we work very professional and methodical. So it started 5 months ago. Now we hold them and detain them because now we basically resurrect the dead. Documents that we don't delete, where they don't nyaka, where they don't even go into the bin. You sabi what they call recycle bin, that they go inside that recycle bin, they go delete at the back. We bring expert where we go revive the data then they from the system, mount them back, systematically review waiting una delete, waiting at this deletion una do.
So una get for immigration.
Imagine say there are thousands of deletions that would have taken place in that system, but we only interested in the deletions that are tied to money. So we therefore also peel that off. So that process took about 5 months. But once we now saw clearly what was deleted, we are reasonably sure that some of those deletions are money. Now we arrest. So coming back to the passport issue, we don't start the investigation now. I tell you, say, now Mr. Self lead the campaign for Ghana immigration and go collect the documents they all need. We don't carry them at the commission. We they review them, we they probe them. Once we reach at that stage, like how we don't reach now NRA now, where we are sure now that this night happen, then we will now take.
What are the names that we involved na immigration?
Names
the specifics, yeah, the names there.
At this stage, it's premature for give names.
Why?
Because we the probe now for see who that approve this particular passport. We go to this Chinese man, we not to go to this German, to go to this Guinean, to go to these people. Now, after we don't do that, we can now say, okay, substitute. If now you the owner immigration, say that you responsible for this one will happen. But we can't do that.
So then
now.
diplomatic passports are now to foreigners then give them.
We assumption based on the information we'll get now that with diplomatic and service passports, they in the hands of undeserving people.
Foreigners, Australians.
Undeserving people could be even Sierra Leoneans, because there are clear rules on this thing. Because, for example,
in this case,
forget diplomatic. Now they tell you, allow me for bring out the facts. If not, the public not going to understand what you will talk about. Diplomatic and service passport get special approval processes. So, for example, service passports, you for the actually work in the public service of Sierra Leone, or somehow you deserve them. So, for example, the wife of a diplomat can get a service passport. A wife of a minister can get a service passport. People there, as long as the president approve them, will not get business with them. Okay. So the investigation what they do now that the one they always get a diplomatic passport, them the president approve them. If the president not approve them, then there's crime. So if the president not approve, I will now check. Okay, who are responsible for making this passport here fall into the hands of this person? And that stage now will go to arrest, will they go to detention, will they go to prosecution.
Commissioner, in all of this, though you don't listen, don't do well in the fight against corruption. With all the instances and record the way you don't bring out here, it's clear say corruption is above una way the fighter, because it's they repeat na institution them, they happen at other places. Una really are the aim of affairs on getting it right, on preventing or eliminating corruption?
One thing I can assure you is one of the reasons we make when they feel say corruption exists at the kind we don't work now in a campaign against we in the mind of the people, because a lot more issues are being brought out to the attention of the public now.
Okay.
In those days, these things were happening and they are kept under the carpet. Somebody they go negotiate and share the money among themselves, and people may not have been taking action against this. I don't tell you, say President Bill usher in a different era for the people of Sierra Leone, and I was appointed Commissioner of Anti-Corruption Commission. So because they bring the issues they out who they deal with now, first of all, it's a good thing showing that there is a strong effort and commitment and dedication in the fight against corruption. It not necessarily means say corruption flourish more than before. So that is the bottom line. We are doing way more in the fight against corruption now than before, and as we continue, for example, I tell you about deletions in the Asikura system. When you don't read that kind of story in the history of Sierra Leone that deletions in the Asikura system are being investigated, we bring experts for look into them. But you feel say even now, just by doing this investigation, NRA don't change a lot of things by themselves. We make sure that they are not repeat again. That is good for the story of Sierra Leone. Forget about any arrest, forget about any detention. Just the prevention measures where Madam Geneba and the team we're very dedicated for make sure that they continue for revenue for Sierra Leone, don't continue for doing an NRA. A lot already changed, and that is victory for the people of Sierra Leone.
Continue for the OT Commissioner Francis Benkel Fala for the Anti-Corruption Commission. Inside the program now, not time for listening to Daddy Wakabot.
Another morning again. Tuesday, man. I say Tuesday. I say Famula Unudo. I say the Christmas breeze. I say flying me go. I say what country the Kanaba people them I say too much of one thing I say is good for nothing. I think I need to ask now. I say, body already performance contract with ministry, department, and agency them be signed. I say, because I don't do me all evaluation, man. I say, I just tell me, Lily Babala, the compile note. I say, I issue another soon. I say, do not Baba say, I will do. I say, I will have the turn you 2 to 4. I say, Bukamanado Cliano. I say, Kamanado, if you have once this thing. I say, oh, begin on why you want them. I say, for the Tumara Bambaro, say, Wakabot not the support person. Canado, I say, You soon clearly the man there for the idea behind this thing. You just say God don't give and dream. You just say one come on now do. Come on now. I say fumble. I say Chengo Junior Babdi. I say the cannabis corruption. I say when I say don't take now. I say me I say this thing don't they continue. I say they continue. I say na so they make like you no understand. I say who they watch things they go out of hands. Now they say I say you see the right Bob. You see, now for kill dog before dog let dog no say die there, so you left this out of court settlement thing. I saw cool Jagabana, sorry to do. I see them you rub grease for you. I say, remember you say, so today don't be spokesman, oh, it can be spokesman back through the voice note. I say then say you blood pressure too high, then say you put on down small. But the people then say they want good. I say man then they scared now things so. If you dey go before man then they knock you like you can be in. I say but who say talk me I say the whole police there I say low keep 1 minute of silence for the mind. I say not to say now if I want keep safe some small little Sharon gets together and I'm not for take police clear I say I let na pull na do I want to I say na the actual I say fumble I say all of a sudden I say talking about police at they tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vehicle. I say we appear. I say all of a sudden now police custody back it don't disappear. I say what the magic stick? Me I don't know Wakabot.
From Wakabot, the program Good Morning Salon Day.
Yes, the very first one from Mystic Nadwazaki, they say corruption kills a nation. That is why the fight against corruption should be reflective on all, not selective on a few. As a nation, we should put more enforcement and monitoring on the fight against corruption.
From Super Caps Food in our Facebook page, they say corruption has wide-ranging national effects that undermine a country's development, stability, and legitimacy. Its impact is not limited to stolen money. It reshapes institutions, behavior, and public trust. One major economic effect is that it slows economic growth and discourages investment that governments want to undertake.
This one from Ibrahim Sisi on our Facebook page. They say congratulations to the ACC Commissioner for his continued effort in the fight against corruption. May he be granted wisdom and strength. Yet, for real impact, the fight must reach all corners. Ministry of Lands, SLRA, and NRA remain untouched or under scrutinized. Selective justice weaken trust. Until sacred cows face justice, corruption will keep wearing a crown. From Ibrahim Sisi on our Facebook page.
This one from Mystic Doazak again, our Facebook page, say proper supervision is highly needed in our institutions. I think one of the major factors for corruption in Sierra Leone is because of lack of monitoring. A clear indication is the annual audit report where ministry, departments and agencies are still not implementing the said recommendation. That is why corruption is getting spread among MDs.
This one from Patrick Kenja. He says, Mr. Commissioner, what about the fictitious account that was discovered at the Kabbalah Community Bank that involved the Minister of Finance? Any updates?
For Mark 10 and New England Villa on Facebook page, they say Sierra Leone's allowing a foreign national to handle its passport shows that the country has no sovereignty. President Bio vows to change the arrangement once he assumes office, but up to now nothing has been done.
This one, they say, Mr. Commissioner, what would you have to say about staying in a house that you haven't paid, allegedly that belongs to Pakul from Sobasisi?
This other one, they say, even though there are transparency on how Anti-Corruption Commission is handling all form of corruption, but I think corruption is fighting back in its own way.
Mr. Commissioner, what the names of the NRA workers that are that you are investigating from concerned citizen?
Another message again, this person, they say, the doubt and the view about selective justice in the fight against corruption is one that the commissioner and his team should work on. The view of people matters a lot.
This one, the last one from me because of time, they say thanks to Ben for the successes at the ACC since his appointment. I think he is now fatigued and should be removed elsewhere for us to have another commissioner with renewed energy to play his own part. We have been doing well in recovery, but the audit reports, year in, year out reports is showing same pattern, outcome of fraud, financial loss, and more.
This last one is a Commissioner Ben Kelfala. How will you continue the fight against corruption when there is a personal interest of a higher height, which is the presidential race? From their message, I know they come to you, sir, for respond.
Thank you. Very interesting comments, and I appreciate the listeners and viewers that we engage in the comment section for bringing issues them out. I mean, a few issues. Yes, I agree with the possibility to talk about supervision. Yes, there has to be more supervision within the system. I believe there needs to be a lot more discipline within the system, and those who are leaders of institutions need to do a little bit more for push discipline within the ranks of the people that were in the lead. So I agree with that. The other person will make a comment about me being in a house and not paying. I mean, that's just silly. How can you be in a house that you've not paid for? It does not make sense to anybody, so I'm not going to engage with that.
We're going to make clarification because this thing don't go around for long.
Yeah, the clarification, that's what I've made. How can you be in a house that you've not paid for? I've paid.
So you don't pay for them?
The lawyer was in charge of the transactions, payments were made. Yes, I know that there are issues between the lawyer and the client who gave him the house to deal with, but I have played my own path and I continue to play my own path. But like I said, that is not something I am willing to engage with because it's more personal than public. But one thing I can assure everybody is that me not to that kind of person. I would never do such a thing. I will always follow rules and processes and procedures and respect other people's rights for waiting belong to them and waiting belong to me. On the other front, more generally with the fight against corruption, people are looking for us to continue to do more.
Mr.
Yes,
Commissioner,
we are doing more.
You don't change your program to English.
We do more. We continue for push in the force against corruption. Somebody say me not exhausted. No. Me, how I begin, as so at the end. Okay? How I start, as so at the end. And so from day one, we'll begin the fight against corruption with the Canon 98.1 and with the interview. The only thing that has been consistent in our world is delivery. Progress. Okay. Success. There are challenges, but we are doing a lot more, and Sierra Leone is a far better place in the fight against corruption than any other.
The last message you talk about how you continue for fight when there is a personal intention for the presidential race. In any way, Francis Ben Kelfala interested on going to a higher height?
That's the very interesting question. What do you think?
No, this is about you, not me. So now if you tell me waiting that
yeah, but what's your opinion?
Or quiet ambition going forward in terms of...
Well, let me put it this way. Sierra Leone don't go through a lot of things that happen over the years, and we don't get leaders that we don't play their own part in changing the story of the country. President Bio don't make it clear that he want left the country in the hands of younger, vibrant people. We don't get experience in leadership under his tutelage, and that when he left, he believes then people then they go able to carry on the agenda of changing Sierra Leone for good.
Okay.
I am a Sierra Leonean. My name is Francis Ben Kaifala from Pendembu, Kailahun district. I deserve to aspire for any position in the country, and if the people of Sierra Leone If the president bill is looking for young people to lead the fight against corruption, I cannot be discarded out of it.
So
I want myself to be considered for that, because this fight where I don't begin so with the fight against corruption, we don't succeed to this level. Imagine what can happen if I'm president of Sierra Leone. What I will bring is discipline, vision, tenacity, dedication.
So that means,
and I will change the story of this country for good. Mark my words.
So
I will change the story of this country.
So that means Ben Kaifala, the declare intention for the flag bearership of the SLPP.
I think if the president is looking for young people to lead the fight against corruption, you cannot leave out one of the most distinguished sons of Kailahun in that process.
So,
yes, if the country is looking for somebody to become president, to change the story of Sierra Leone,
so,
Francis Ben Kaifala, believes that I should be one.
How true that you are one of the candidates then for the Ebima camp?
Me and the first lady get very, very good relationship.
You they part of the Ebima camp?
She is my big sister.
You they part of the Ebima camp?
I support the aspirations and aims within the framework of the first lady, but more generally, I am more a President Bio person. I am more a person who works within the framework of what President Bio wants for Sierra Leone, and his wife is part of that agenda.
President Bio no they run again. We get different camps. Them. We get RIM, we get Ebima, we get other one them. You the part of the Ebima camp?
Me not believe in camps. I've told you. Me belong to President Bio in Team for Sierra Leone, and part of that, all them people that they call belong to President Bio. I get a very great relationship with the First Lady, and I believe that she's doing great work for the people of Sierra Leone, and I support that vision.
So you fit for all purpose for the presidency?
I am more than fit, more than qualified, more than distinguished. I don't always talk, say qualification is not the problem for the people of Sierra Leone. A lot of the people that would say they want to be president,
educated.
The people that would come up say they want to be president, they may be qualified, some of them, not all of them. Some of them are definitely not qualified. But it takes way more than qualification to lead the people of Sierra Leone. You need a lion heart to lead this country after President Bio, and I believe I have that.
And you are the person where the SLPP for look for?
I am the person who Sierra Leone should look for.
Plenty thank you to you. We will guest inside this edition of the program. Good morning, Salon. Francis Ben Kaifala, Commissioner, Anti-Corruption Commission, for your update on how we are on the fight against corruption and how we will continue for it.
Thank you.
Well, now this edition they left you for today. Michael Sambola with support from Ade Yebi Jackson, Musa Kamara, Mange Mansare, that they produce this edition of the program. Good morning, Salon. I would say plenty thank you to DJ Sugarcane for in technical support, and also to the IT department. Would they say thank you to Fatmata Samoa and May Bangwa, where we can watch we live on our Facebook page. We will bring this edition come to you this Tuesday morning. Mina Sap to you, calendar says stay tuned to this frequency, and goodbye.
Musa Kamara say bye bye.